Okay, made some progress. This is just a post as a measuring guide because what happens is I was saying to you, I need something that's going to lift up and slide through the linear servo as it retracts backwards. So now, some of you can see this is the linear servo. It will be buried a little bit lower in the fuse. This is the moving portion of the linear servo that'll be actually covered as well. There'll be one straight seam line down here that allows whatever post I drive in here to retract. Now the problem is it's working, but I don't know that I could actually hold the camera and get it to work because I have to hold the post in place. None of this is glued in. This is not glued in yet. These are just temporarily bolted on. They're not finished. So I'm going to try to see if I can get this thing to retract without destroying it. Because what it's going to want to do is lift up because I'm actually working the play here as I go. So I'll see if I can give you a little indication without killing it. And that's where you can see it actually popped up because you need it to play, but not bad, not bad. So what I mean by that is you can see how this starts to lift up. The servo wants to stay put. So what I'll actually have in here is a screw that is tight up there. Then I'll have about a 1/2 inch of play as this comes back so that the servo can work through. So same thing, moving a little forward to give you an idea. See if I can give you an idea. Putting the post in. Again, this will all be hopefully covered. So that's the idea. Again, rough draft. You can see I'm getting a pretty good closed seam here, and that's with no final adjustment. There will be a cap piece, but I know I can actually get this tighter. But again, retracting motion. You can see this will start to lift up as I go back here. Servo stays in place. But I'm getting some pretty good scale, I think, retraction, where the canopy is pretty much staying scale, true, just a little bit off in angle here, I think, on the real Corsair. This is more parallel to the line, but I'm actually pretty happy with it. So what will happen is this, and I'll take any ideas you guys have and suggestions in getting a moving but stabilizing, piece back here. This seam will be completely closed up. You're just going to be one simple single line in here, one single clean seam. This will be completely enclosed. This has to be buried just a little bit more in here. Okay, light balsa will go over this, or ply. It'll be sealed, blended in. So far I'm pretty happy with the results. Again, thanks to everybody on RC Groups for a lot of the reference photos for this. Kai from Down Under and all the guys down there, thanks for the pictures. Gnats, V8, everybody that's helped. Eros, everybody that's been great enough to post the pics, allowing me some details of how this is posted, because again it's really deceiving. If you look at the scale version that FMS actually has in place, it's this. I just buried this line deeper, and but it's deceiving because it makes you think that you should be putting this on an angle down or putting on an angle up, and this actually worked pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this slides back and forth now. So a little secret too, guys, so you should know, is I used plastic rails on this Corsair, again trying to keep the weight down. I used brass on the big LX P40. A little secret that makes an incredible difference when you're doing this, and that is good old petroleum jelly. You put it in there, these things start to work like a total charm. Now, if you want to know how to cut the rails, one last tip I'll give you tonight, show you that I do. I actually made this little thing out of scrap balsa. You put a back plate up here. You just simply use a Dremel tool. Play around with the height of the Dremel cutting wheel. You would put your rail right in here. Try to, if I can even grab one, just to give you an example. These are the brass ones that I use. So this would go here like this, obviously without the paper. This gets turned on. What I normally do is try and end to see how centered I am, because regardless of how you measure, how you mark, it's really a matter of playing around with the height of this to get dead center. Once you get a nice, if you're going to do brass, by the way, and or plastic, make sure you use goggles. But particularly when you're doing these brass, use goggles. It's metal splinters flying through the air. It's incredibly dangerous for your eye. So again, I'll turn it on, I'll do this, and I will actually feed this along like a bandsaw. You want to keep it steady in here, and I'm sure other guys have done them where they've engraved a line here and the tool's turned the other way and they're just running it through. But this has worked great for me. I've done brass this way, I've done plastic this way. On the FMS models, again, trying to keep weight down, I'm using plastic. They're very simple to use. Now, that's about it for tonight. I think that was enough stress just cutting this out. It's pretty nerve-wracking. We were cutting a huge hole in the fuse, but you can see I maintained my fuse lines. This will be completely sealed, and one last seam line will go in there. Thanks again.